Hey, good morning, everybody. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich with your quick weather update for your Friday. A lot going on this weekend. Today's weather is actually pretty easy to forecast. We've got, again, severe clear. We've got unlimited visibility, beautiful conditions, kind of crisp and cool by late April standards. We had some patchy frost this morning. We officially dropped to 38 degrees here in the Queen City. A lot of outlying areas, even a degree or two cooler than that, around 36, 37. So some frost this morning, kind of a late season frost, though it wasn't widespread enough to have big issues. Most of your plants should have been okay if they were watered well or near the house. I don't see that any widespread frost or freeze conditions. But tonight, rapid changes. You see this mess over Texas. This is going to be heading in our direction overnight and pretty quickly spreading moisture back into the region. Let me quickly show you the dew points, but you can see how quickly the dew points have recovered here across Texas. I'm going to switch over to the dew point temperature. You see, we're bone dry, 29-degree dew point. But look at the dew points in Texas. A lot of moisture feeding north, and this moisture is going to continue to feed north. But at the same time, what's really interesting is we've got that wedge of high pressure setting up. You see it up there over Cincinnati. And what that's going to do, high pressure sitting up here, the big H, is going to be pumping in northeast winds. So while this moisture heads our way about 5,000 to 10,000 feet, down at the ground, we're going to have northeast winds. And those northeast winds and this kind of cold, dry air at the surface acts like a little bit of a ramp. So as this moisture comes in from the southwest, it gets ramped up into the atmosphere, actually shoved up, and creates widespread clouds, showers, and eventually some pretty good rain around here. We look at the model data. I'll back this up a little bit, and you can see this is the short range NAM4, we call it. You can see even tonight by 8 p.m., rain is spreading into parts of Georgia and Alabama. By the time we wake up tomorrow morning, right around 6 a.m., the rain is already into the Charlotte region. And here's the thing, even though this is future radar, I wouldn't focus so much on the darker greens and the darker oranges and reds. Yeah, that's certainly heavy rain, but I think even outside those areas, we're going to see drizzle and mist. So will it be heavy rain all day tomorrow? Probably not, but it'll seem like it's raining more than it is because even when it lets up, there'll be a lot of drizzle. So this is at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, widespread light rain, some pockets of moderate rain. As we go into the afternoon, we get close to about 1 o'clock, the pockets of heavy rain pick up. There may be what we call elevated thunderstorms or convection. The warm air is going to be above the ground and the cool air is going to be at the surface. That's not the way atmosphere likes to work. So you end up with some elevated convection, which in this case is actually a good thing because it could save us from some widespread severe weather. We go to about 2 p.m. You can see there's a couple breaks here and there, but I think even in between the breaks there could be some pockets of rain. You see how showery it gets by later in the evening, by 5, 6 o'clock, and we'll go to 8 p.m. And by 8 p.m. it actually looks like the rain starts to break up a little bit, but this is also when we could see some severe weather develop back to our west. You can see these storms back here in parts of Georgia and up here in Kentucky and Tennessee. In this area right in here, we have to really watch tomorrow for the potential for these strong storms. These will probably move into South Carolina and save us from any widespread severe weather. But the western part of our viewing area, we're going to have to watch because this is a storm relative helicity. And I'm going to go out in the future here, and you can see a lot of spinning in the atmosphere. That's wind shear. Now, I'm going to go forward, and you're going to say, oh, Brad, look at what goes on here in the Carolinas. Well, this isn't exactly what it looks like. Remember, we're wedged in, so we've got northeast winds at the ground, and aloft the winds will be, not even aloft, 5,000, 6,000 feet, the winds will be from the southwest. So that looks like a lot of helicity on the map, but in reality, there's no surface-based instability to get these storms going. So while that looks concerning, it's really not that big of a deal. This is a lower range of shear, and you can see, boy, back into Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, and even South Carolina, we're going to have to watch those areas carefully. For good reason, you can see most of the middle south is under an enhanced risk for severe weather tomorrow. That's that area shaded in kind of the light orange, but notice how that kind of extends into western North Carolina. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get some strong storms to develop over here and they try to move down in this direction, or we get some that develop and move in this direction, or even try to ride up and come down over the mountain. So the western part of our viewing area, maybe even Charlotte, we could see some dying thunderstorms late in the day. So on top of all the yucky rain that's going to be around pretty much all day Saturday, there is a small chance we could see severe storms, especially in the western part of the area. So a lot to talk about this weekend, a lot to talk about on air today. Starting at 4, 5, and 6, I'll have you covered. If you have outdoor plans Saturday, please shoot me a Facebook message or a tweet about the time and location. I'll try to pinpoint the rain a little bit better. I've gotten a lot of questions already, and The one thing I can tell you, have a backup plan tomorrow. There's going to be rain around. Can I promise you that it's going to rain the entire time, and by the time your event starts, it might let up? That's certainly a possibility, but the chance of rain is so high, you have to have a backup plan. There's just no way I would even remotely consider doing anything outside unless I knew I was going to be ready for rain on Saturday. So I'll leave that there, and please shoot me questions and I'll answer them on Facebook. Have a great day. I'll see you starting today at 4, 5, and 6, and of course on Facebook and Twitter. Tell your friends. Make sure they follow me. Remember, keep this thing up to date 24 hours a day, 7 days a week about severe weather here in the Charlotte region.